Well, guys, CNN just dropped some bombshell polling that came out after the whole Virginia, the election race, the New Jersey, the New York. And I'm going to be honest with you. It's a whole lot of crap sandwich. There's a little bit of a warning for Republicans. There's a very damning warning for Democrats. And I'm going to be honest with you again. It's really damning of our entire political system because it turns out everyone's unhappy, everybody's pissed off, and nobody likes anybody. This is going to be a fun video. Everything's going to be linked in the description box below. Of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. Guys, we are grinding to save this country, and sometimes saving the country has to look at some uncomfortable things, and we're about to do that for both sides of this bad boy. Because it's a race to who can win this, and we're going to if we can adapt to one simple little thing. Please send this out. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Am I over the target? Let me see those planes. Let's jump right in. We're going to get over to CNN. Harry Enton. I really like Harry. I do. I don't know him personally. Would love to. He seems like an animated kind of guy. But the polling that we're about to see right now is indicative of some very interesting things. And I want you to keep in mind that this whole report is based on blue cities and states. That is very important because what he's basically extrapolating here about how Trump is done, dead, MAGA's done, dead, everything is done and dead because of these three elections. He's missing some pretty important stuff, which we're going to break down. All right, let's get into this because at the end of the day, everybody hates everybody, and that's the last clip. Make sure you stay to the end. Let's get it.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of Republicans who saw those polls that, showed Donald Trump low nationally, and they didn't necessarily believe him. But for Democrats, those polls are real, and they are spectacular. And the reason I say that is because take a look here. Voted for the Democratic nominee among Trump disapprovers. I got 2017, Trump's first term, and 2025 in New Jersey and Virginia. In 2017, among the Trump disapprovers, the Democratic nominees got 82% in New Jersey, 87% in Virginia. Come over to this side of the screen. If there is any idea that Republicans are going to be able to outrun Donald Trump's low approval ratings, this says, nah. They're going to be like impalas getting chased down in the African desert by a big lion. Look at this. 93% of Trump disapprovers voted for the Democratic nominee in New Jersey, and 92% voted for them in the great Commonwealth of Virginia. The bottom line is this. What those results on Tuesday night showed us is that Donald Trump is absolutely a drag on Republican candidates in New Jersey and Virginia, likely nationwide. If you are in a state where Donald Trump is underwater, you are in big, big trouble.
Here's the really interesting part about this. And again, you guys have to understand that no matter what poll I show you, you vote like you're losing. You never stop grinding because we're going to save this country. But here's something that you have to understand. This is in a blue state. These are in blue cities. All he's talking about is energy and animating people to go and vote. If you hate Donald Trump, you go and vote. That's not the disapproval number that is going and factoring in. That is the Democrats rallying animation because they wanted to send a message against Donald Trump, again, in blue states. The increases that you're seeing here from 82% to 93%, 87% to 92%, they were more effective at animating their base to go out and vote amongst the Trump disapprovers. Now, there is one little warning here for Republicans. Because if you are losing this, you got one of two options. The first option is you're either going to have more Democrats that didn't vote be animated and energized to go and vote, so you activate more of your base. Or you've got independents who are in the middle who are unhappy with Trump, and then they go and vote Democrat. That is going to show up on the third little segment I'm about to show you, I believe. But that's not including red states. This is not including purple states. Now, it does translate to purple states, and that's the big risk. And I'm going to show you here in 1 second. Let's keep on going because, again, he's about to dog on Trump real hard, and I think he's overestimating something, but watch this.
What does this mean nationally, though? Because that is what people are really going to be concentrating on now when we look forward to 2026 in the midterm.
Yeah, okay. So the big question is, what does it mean nationally, as you said, Sarah? Well, I mean, at this particular point, Donald Trump is at term two lows nationally in terms of his net approval rating. Look at this. These are polls that are out this week. Look at the CNN. He was 26 points underwater. CBS, 18 points underwater. ABC, 18 points underwater. The NBC Hart Public Opinion Strategies poll, he was 12 points underwater. My goodness gracious, he's down there with the Titanic, and this is what is turning in for the Republican Party. That result on Tuesday night was a Titanic proportion, just absolutely awful result. New Jersey, Virginia, Pennsylvania, in terms of those judgeships, those Supreme Court judgeships, essentially, retaining those judges. All the Democratic line candidates won. Democrats won their first statewide races that weren't federal in Georgia for the first time in a generation. What we are talking about at this particular point is Donald Trump is absolutely a drag. I spoke about it on Monday. That's what we thought was going to happen, and that is exactly what did happen. Donald Trump at this point is an absolute drag on these Republican candidates. We saw it on Tuesday night, and nationally I expect that result to hold, because at this point Donald Trump is at his term 2 lows.
You're talking about...
Okay, he's about to go into the Democrats, and they're abysmal numbers as well, and that's really important. Guys, this is not all a bashing of Trump and Republican. This is not all bashing of a Democrat. This is bashing of the system. You have to realize what this is, because the same way that Trump animates the people who don't like him, he animates the people that do like him. He is an animator. He is an energizer. If you're on Team Trump and Team Red, then you're going to go vote. Hypothetically. That's why the whole if he's on the ballot thing. And then if he's not on the ballot, the Democrats are going to be energized to vote to punch him because he's not on the ballot. Like, it's this whole thing of who's going to be energized the most because the left is pissed, the right is pissed, or the right loves him, the left hates him. Who wins that little battle, right? What you're seeing here is the Trump approval numbers, and Harry is extrapolating it out and saying that, well, that's the reason that everything that you saw in this first segment is because of these numbers. That's not, in my opinion, accurate. And here's why. Watch. I'm going to continue this next segment. This is where it basically says everyone thinks everybody's a crap sandwich, and the options that we have to lead our country are actually who we hate less versus who we are inspired by. Okay, watch this.
About the Titanic, Democrats before this, right, were on the Titanic. Their approval ratings lower than Republicans. What does that all mean?
Okay, what does that all mean, right? I think there are a lot of Republicans saying, okay, Donald Trump ain't that popular, but the Democrats aren't popular either. And those Democratic low favorable ratings, those will save us. Well, we had a test of that on Tuesday night. So what do we see here? Okay, vote for the Democratic nominee. View neither party favorably. Here's the margin. Look at this. In New Jersey, if you viewed neither party favorably, in New Jersey, Mikey Sherrill won that vote by 66 points. How about in Virginia? Abigail Spanberger won that vote by 56 points. It doesn't necessarily matter, it turns out, that the Democrats are viewed that unfavorably, because amongst those who like neither party, the Democrats ran away with it. I started off with a running analogy.
Okay, and this is the key point. I'm going to leave this up for a second. Please tell me you stayed for this, because this is where it all ties together. The Democrats ran away with it in blue states where the natural inclination is to go towards blue. So if you are pissed at either party or both parties, and you are going to go one way or the other in blue states, you're going to tend to go blue. Just like if you have a massive amount of people that don't like either party in red states, like Ohio or Florida or Arkansas or Alabama, they're going to tend to default to the Republican side, and they're going to run away with it. What he's doing and extrapolating out towards the entire nation is not accurate, because blue states are going to blue and red states are going to red in this exact same scenario. Where it comes down to, and this is the key pivotal point, this is why I really asked you to stay towards the end. The 7 swing states are going to be the barometer of everything that happens in the House races and in the Senate races and in the White House and the general in 2028. What you're talking about right now is the independents and which way do they break. I've always told you that the independents are the magic unlock. They're the magic key. They either go left or they go right. And whichever way they go, the nation depends on it. Because the right is going to right, the left is going to left. Red is going to red, blue is going to blue. The independents, right there in the middle, decide which way works. And the independents are typically a little more irritated by things that are going on, so they tend to, in my opinion, to have a little bit of a retribution to whoever's in power. So, make it worth their while to swing to Team Red. We've already got all the wind at our back on Team Red. We have natural inclination nationally for the next generations coming up to conservative. We have a vast amount of minorities, conservative. The only people that they have in their own demographic buckets are liberal white women, i.e. the No Kings rally. And they came out in spades in these blue races. But you have to understand, this is not ground zero. This is a barometer for blue state's going to blue and red state's going to red. And I don't want you to get twisted, and all hope is not lost, because we are going to win, whether it's this election or the next one or the final generations that we have coming behind us. We're going to win this bad boy. And that's what I've got for you guys. I hope I landed that plane. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'll see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.